You know, I just realized this. I wanted to go back and look at the mathematical anomaly that me and somebody have. Y'all know who this was? I don't even say who. I never said their name, but I told what role they played in my life. And her birthday is 10/28/1973. My birthday is 7/6/1961. So her number is 55244 because 10 times 28 times 1973, 7 times 6 times 1961. That's me. You combine it, it begins with 45, which is Trump's number, followed by 500, which is Antichrist and Strong's Concordance. And you probably notice there's a 50 in there also. And this person, obviously, you can look at the birthday, just turned 50 on the lunar eclipse. Well, she and I have this mathematical anomaly where you take our total number of 45500006328 and multiply it by each year individually. And every 16 years, the middle two numbers will rotate. 626, 126, 627, 127, 627, 127. That went on for 16 years. It was 626, 126 for 16 years, ending in 2006. But I met her in 2005. So it was the last 2 years of the 16 years of 626, 126, and then it rolled. So our combined number times a year, it does this. And it goes to infinity. I've done it centuries in the past and gone way into the future with it. So this year in 2023, it rolled. We were in the 627, 127 rotation, and it rolled to 628, 128. Well, next year is the 128 year, and it ends with 07872. Again, it ends in 07872. And I'll tell you what's very strange about that. Very strange. I'm looking for something here that just popped in my head to look for. But you see where it ends in 07872. Well, remember my favorite numbers are 2 times 24 times 27 times 38 times 42 times 45. And it ends in 07872. 07872. The same digits. And the person she and I are also close to, see that 3078? Well, this person, 3 times 19 times 1998, her number has the 138, the 88, and the 86ing of him. And her first name, middle initial, and last name come the exact as Trump's in simple gematria. 148. And she was born at 8:08 a.m. Now her number of 113886 divides evenly by 37 like mine does. Anybody's does born in the year 98 or 61, 37 years apart. So you see that 3078? Well, that's in that number, 3078. What's really left? The 930. What's the big deal about 930 next year? It's 2 days before Ring of Fire eclipse. Could it be possible that he actually rises on the day of an eclipse? Or does he die some other time? There's a penumbral lunar, partial lunar. It has to be this one in March if it's going to be a lunar eclipse. March 25th, which don't forget, March 25th is the exact opposite of October 28th. They're the gateway arch dates. And they are connected through the transfer portal of time of January 10th, 2022. So the two transfer portal dates that transfer portal back and forth to each other, March 25th of 2024 and October 28th, 2023, they're both lunar eclipses. One's partial, one's penumbral. If we were to go to the transfer portal, should we do it this year? Because it's a leap year, so it's 74. Because it's the second progression of 37. You can see they portal back and forth to each other. If we go to 2022, they, of course, still portal back and forth to each other. If we were to add to get to this year's, well, we know that 666 through the portal lands on November 7th. Again, another gigantic tail for November 7th. It's getting ridiculous, isn't it? So this playlist of November 4th event, Death on the 5th, just had the 11 teams. This began 4 weeks ago. You wanted to look into it. It was on October 1st. We first started really zeroing in on this date, along with other dates, of course, but I gotta tell you. So let's keep going with the transfer portal. 666 days. I keep forgetting that it lands right on November 7th. See previous video of the gigantic tails for November 7th. You don't even have to go through the playlist. You just watch this video and the previous one for today titled Gigantic Tails for November 7th. But yesterday's was big too. And so was the day before. The Gators have all black uniform game on Saturday. Anyway, let's keep going with this transfer portal. So let's go 653. 656. That put us on this past lunar. Takes you all the way to Wednesday of 2025. Now, let's do it to the March 25th date of next year. I'm just going to put 777 days because that sure puts us close. So right at 800 days. It's 805 days. We subtract it back October 28th of 2019. So you see that these gateway arch dates, which happen to be progressions of 37 at 437, 718. Y'all saw that. Porsche 911, Porsche 718. Dark Knight came out on 718. So both transfer portal dates of March 25th and October 28th, the transfer portal is Janus Tenet or January 10th. They are two progressions of 37 equally away from the transfer portal of Janus Tenet from the movie Tenet, 10 going backwards and forwards in the month of Janus, where the faces, there's two heads backwards and forwards. In the pagan world, January or Janus sees backwards and forwards. It reflects on the past and looks to the future. So that's when that eclipse is next year. Lunar eclipse. Not only gateway arches, March 25th back to October 28th, but on the 28th and March 25th, there's both lunar eclipses. If that doesn't tell you how significant the transfer portal of time is that the Lord allowed us to find and nobody else, just like nobody out there in the Ethernet was talking about August 12th, 2022 was the day Sirius the Dog Star rose, along with being a midpoint of the two previous and two past total lunars and total solars. Total lunars and total solars midpoint on the same day. That's Sirius the Dog Star rose. So if we're going to run that, if we're going to bounce that date, and we've already done it, but we might as well do it again. Be 45-0 the day he goes down, 45-2 the day he rises. But if we put this through to March 25th of next year, which is potentially when he goes down, or 2 days before it, on March 23rd, that's 591. Means he'd go down on 589. That's too perfect. Or run it through to September 30th. Two days later to October 2nd. $782. I might think that he might go down in and or around the time of the X across America solar eclipse, and the Abomination of Desolation will be at this time of the Donnie Darko date of October 2nd. And also the date. Why would this be the Abomination of Desolation? That's when the Ghost in the Machine album came out, October 2nd. Which is what the mark of the beast is. It's that the AI and the technology will possess people that worship the image. Basically worshiping the technology, then they're entered through the technology. That's what AI is. It's the demons. It's the demonic realm in the technology. They're no longer in crystal balls or Ouija boards. They're in the technology. Not that they can't be wherever, but you get the idea. That's the Abomination of Desolation, the Ring of Fire solar eclipse. So when would he go down? Is he going to go down now? And World War III is 11 months. It would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? But is it the full moon? I mean, is it Groundhog Day? Is it in March, that big date we've been looking at, 3/18, March 18th? Or is it the X across America? Goes down on that solar eclipse and then has the Abomination of Desolation on the Ring of Fire eclipse. So it goes down on total solar and it performs the abomination on Ring of Fire 177 days apart. Which I will tell you, the 177 days apart of all these eclipses, that's Adam and Eve code. I'm not going to get into why that is, but that's what it is. Eve is in the number 7 and 11. 7 times 11 is 77. It's 177. The 77 is Eve. The 17 is Adam. They're fused together. I'm not going to tell you why the 17 is. But I think a lot of things point to him going down here in November, rising on the 7th, but it might not be. Maybe it's later on when the X is across America. But the Abomination of Desolation being on October 2nd, 2024 is gigantic. How old will he be? Exactly 286. Who's getting 86th? The sheep. He is 28,600 days old on that day of the Ring of Fire eclipse. And you might say, well, it's a good day for him to be 86 then, isn't it? Yeah, I guess. I will always say your guess is as good as mine on all this. This is why I think out loud with y'all. By the way, he's 686 hours old, 686, 400. 686,000 hours old. That's 86 and the reversing of the 86, which is to say, had a wound by the sword, but did live. Reversing the 86. All on that day of October 2nd next year. So him going down on the 30th and rising on the 2nd, that's also a big deal, isn't it? Of course it is. That eclipse of October 2nd is a new moon in Libra. It does deliver the full moon of October 17th, which is another way to say 117, which might be the one if he goes down on that 30th and rises on the solar eclipse. It could be that's the moon that he went up through when he rose out of the pit. Even though you really rise on the 3rd day, so one's the spiritual rising and another one's, I don't know, one represents male, one represents female, sun male, moon female. I don't know. But that Ring of Fire on the Donnie Darko date of October 2nd just got real big. All right, love y'all.